The Fall of an Angel, Part 2. The sound of the wind howling in the darkness, a heavy silence, and the light fading into the shadows. A choice, a destiny, and only one chance remains. The secret of the Forgotten Covenant, Israel, or rather, the one who was once called Israel, still sitting on the cold, dark ground. The name whispered in his ear, wrapped around his soul like an invisible chain. You are no longer Israel. From now on, you will be called Israel. His heart responded with a heavy beat. But why? Why was he given this name? With great difficulty, he opened his eyes. Darkness, and a face hidden in the shadows. The goddess of death still stood above him, her eyes like the night, deep, mysterious, and unreadable. You are still alive, Israel. Her voice was soft, but there was something in it, something Israel could not comprehend. But why? Why am I still alive? The covenant still stands, doesn't it? The goddess of death smiled faintly. Do you really think it still stands? Then let me show you the truth. With a wave of her hand, the shadows moved, twisted, and an image formed in the darkness. The eternal sky, a place where no one ever thought the light would fade. But now, cracks had formed in the heavens. The light had dimmed, and the voices that once sang could no longer be heard. The goddess of death whispered, "You were sent to uphold the covenant, but what the angels don't know is that the covenant was broken long ago." Israel stared at the image. The faint glow he once knew was now fading. Then why am I still alive? His voice trembled with unease. The goddess of death stepped forward. Because there is still one truth you do not know. She raised her hand, and among the shadows, something took form. A door made of light and darkness. The one who seals the gates of heaven. Israel looked at it. Something deep inside told him he had seen it before. This. What is this? The goddess of death smiled bitterly. This is what stands between you and the truth. Israel felt his chest tighten. If the covenant is broken, why is there still a prison? The goddess of death spoke softly. Because there is still one choice left for you to make. The shadows began to whisper, and suddenly, another voice echoed from the distance. Israel, you must not. A familiar voice, but not from this world. Angels appeared within the light. A face that had always been by his side. But now, something had changed in its gaze. You have no choice. The covenant is broken, but the gate remains closed. If it opens, it will become both light and darkness. Israel held his breath. This was the choice he had to make. Open the gate and face the truth, or close it forever. The goddess of death looked at him, her eyes as deep and endless as the night. So tell me, Israel, will you renew the covenant, or will you follow the truth? The choice was his. And this choice would change not only his own fate, but the fate of all heaven and earth. End of Part 2. What do you think? Will Israel choose the truth or keep the covenant? Leave a comment and subscribe to see the rest of the story.